Hi, it's Kurt Kessler, MLS number 365130, and I'm here with the bearded Behan Salamati. Just want to discuss, kind of get your take on the market, where we're at now, what's going on, where we're going to be when the shelter in place is over with, and kind of what you see in the next like 6 to 12 months.
So you're asking me to pull out my magic 8 ball and
I want you to the crystal ball, and I want you to kind of polish it up, get a good shine on it, and tell me what's going on. So
totally.
what's in the market right now?
So honestly, I'm still seeing a lot of movement. Obviously, we're in a very evolving scenario that's changing on a daily basis, but I am seeing a fair amount of movement. Just tracking the numbers. So, I mean, one of the statistics, let's start more globally. One of the statistics I like to look at is months of inventory. So that's your actives on the market divided by the past 30 days worth of sales. So based off the notes I take, I've noticed that our months of inventory has actually been shrinking on a weekly basis since the end of February. So it's actually gone down almost by a half month, which is a solid indicator that people are still out there buying. Homes are still going on the market and still selling.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, now how are the offers being handled as far as, applying social distancing?
So that's a little more unique. It's definitely a changing process. I can tell you I have a client right now who's in contract to purchase a house. They have not seen the house yet.
Okay.
So the first step was obviously looking at pictures, looking at the comparables, making sure the house is right for them. And then I coordinated with the listing agent and her sellers to do a virtual walkthrough. So we did a Zoom call just like this one. Sellers walked through the house, taking direction from my clients and the listing agent to look in different cupboards, looking in the kitchen, out windows, at the floors, like close up on the floor to see how the material looks. But that's really the first step. And once we're in contract, then it's a matter of either shelter in place being removed. And again, this is for occupied properties, right?
Right.
So either shelter in place being removed, or the sellers are in a position where maybe they can move in with a friend or family member and vacate the house permanently. And once the house is vacant, then we can go through the process of inspections and getting my buyers in to do their actual first physical walkthrough of the property.
Now, if you had any sellers or buyers that say, I'm just going to wait till this is over, it's kind of on the sidelines just to see what happens.
Absolutely. And I don't think that's wrong. Number one, regardless of what the real estate market is doing, we're in a health crisis. So number one is safety, and people feeling safe for their families, their friends, themselves. And to me, that is the most important thing anybody should be thinking about right now. If you're in a position where you need to sell, or you have a vacant home, or there's specific scenarios that require the sale of your house, we can make it happen. But I've had clients that said, hey, it was a thought. We're just going to wait to see how this plays out, and then touch base again once we have more indication from the government as to what the next best steps are.
What's your take on immediately, or like the few days after we get out of the social isolation, this shelter in place? I couldn't remember the word.
Right. Kurt, honestly, I think that my expectation is there will be some rebound. I think a big part of why the market has continued going the way it has, even with the shelter in place, is if prior we had, say, for instance, 10 buyers looking at a house, now there's 3 very serious buyers looking at a house. And that's why we're still seeing so many active listings pending and selling during this time. But we still have that group of 7 people that didn't have an immediate need, so they pumped the brakes for a second. Okay. And my expectation is when we come out of this, those 7 and any additional demand that has grown during this period, they're going to be right back into the market. And I believe the same will hold true for the listings that pump the brakes to see what happens with everything.
Now, let's say there's a spike in inventory and a spike of buyers because it's kind of pent up right now. And let's say we work through that. Where do you see it like the next 6 to 12 months?
That is a question that I think is on every single real estate agent's mind, every lender's mind, every economist's mind. I think that our government is doing and I'm kind of stepping out of the real estate world, but I think our government's doing a good job trying to prop up our market. They have all these stimulus plans that they're putting into action. I think it's really hard to tell what's going to happen if we're out of shelter in place by the, what is it, May 7th date, I think it is. That's a totally different story as opposed to if we stay in shelter till June, July, August. And that's something that's, I think we're going to have to take it a day at a time to find out. Real estate in general, though, I think it's going to be solid. And you can probably speak to this a little bit more, but my understanding is a lot of the mortgages that are in place right now, a lot of the homeowners, they have a significant amount of equity. So we're not going to face a scenario where you have a mass, let's call it financial breakdown in the real estate market where homeowners have to get foreclosed on or can't make their payments. My thoughts are real estate will stay strong. I remember reading an article somewhere saying that some people believe the real estate market will be one of the stimuluses that helps bring us out of the recession that we might be stepping into. I don't have any more details. That's definitely an article I want to find and reread to get a little more details about. But
I'm going to say that along those lines, Kiplinger is saying that the real estate will lead us out of this. I think it was Morgan Stanley basically said the same thing, that the impetus for a rebound is going to be real estate. So, because there is, especially in the Bay Area, we're the number one housing, in my opinion, number one real estate market in the world right now, because we do the social distancing, but we aren't as affected as they are, unfortunately, on the East Coast. We are the 19th largest economy in the world. We beat Saudi Arabia and Switzerland. And before this happened, our unemployment rate was only 2.2%. So there may be some unemployment. It really depends on tech, because that's our biggest employer. And even if there's layoff in tech, they might not completely affect the Bay Area. So I think, like you were saying earlier, I concur that the 10 offers might get down to 3 really serious. What I don't think will happen is overbidding like it was in January and February. I think that's going to kind of curtail a little bit, because the activity per listing won't quite be as high. So
right.
So, anything else you want to share on the market right now?
I think for any buyers or sellers out there, if you're not in an immediate rush, if you don't have an immediate need to buy or sell right now, this is a perfect time to prepare. Get ready. If you're a buyer, talk to your lender. If you're a seller, start talking with a real estate agent. I know a great one right here. But start talking to a real estate agent. Get all your ducks in a row. So when we do come out of this, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you can be at the front of the line and just hit the ground running. There's a lot of people at home like fixing the little honey-do lists. Treat this as the same thing. Put it on your honey-do list, get ready, be prepared, so that when the market really does open up again, you can be right there with it. That's the only thing I can say.
Okay. If someone wanted to reach out to you and get a hold of you and had any questions about procedures, about any more information, and they would like to get from you, how would they get in touch with you?
Cell is probably going to be the best way. My number is 510-566-2424. Email, phone calls, text message, great. My email is behan@goldenbayhomes.com. I'm on my phone all day long, so anything that comes through, I'll pick it up.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time today, and I'll make sure I put that contact information at the bottom of the description. Have a safe weekend.
Likewise, Kurt. Enjoy. Take care. Enjoy the family.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.